Kong is proud to be the home of many world-class engineering wonders, the astounding accomplishments of its hard-working construction industry. But during construction, consultants or their resident site staff often are in conflict with the contractors. How can this be avoided? A new form of contract, the new Engineering Contract NEC, has now landed in Hong Kong. NEC can effectively transform disputes into cooperation and opposition into collaboration, thus allowing the contracts to be completed in a most cost-effective manner. NEC emphasizes mutual trust and collaboration, thus allowing the employer, the site supervisory staff, and the contractors working closely together towards a common goal. The GCC form of construction contract that Hong Kong has adopted was modelled on the UK conditions of contract. This traditional form of contract does not place much emphasis on a partnering relationship between contracting parties in the course of the contract. As a result, disputes often arise in the interpretation of the terms of contract.
We hope to use a partnering approach in construction contracts so that participants can now work as a team instead of taking an adversarial approach in the conventional contract. The NEC project has been substantially completed with very encouraging results. So I think it is time for the Development Bureau of the Hong Kong government to have a wider trial on NEC form of contract, not only for construction contracts but also for consultancy agreements.
In managing traditional contracts, disputes can easily arise between the employers, consultants and contractors.
The on-site management personnel from the client or the consultant are comparatively passive. They may strictly follow the procedures and the specifications.
Normally, quotations presented to us are exaggerated, and we take pains to check the credibility of the data.
喺傳統合約裏面咧，好多人就覺得顧問公司同承建商咧就好似兵捉賊咁。
So is there any way to resolve disputes arising from traditional contracts?
There was very little interaction between people working for the client and people working for contractors and subcontractors. There was no collaborative decision-making.
Dr. Martin Barnes has always been keen on the study of project management. In the mid-1980s, he accepted the engagement of the Institution of Civil Engineers to study a new form of contract with an aim to resolving problems arising from traditional contracts.
It was a revolutionary idea at the time that you'd write a contract in simple English, but why would you do anything else? Why would you write a contract in a language which you knew most of the users would not fully understand?
The first article of NEC stipulates the need for mutual trust and cooperation between the contracting parties. Not only is this unprecedented, it also signifies the uniqueness of NEC. Moreover, under NEC, there is a fairer risk-sharing mechanism for allocating risks, such as risks in handling unforeseen ground conditions and inclement weather between the contracting parties. Such would help to minimize contractual disputes. The first edition of NEC Conditions of Contract was officially published in 1993. In 1994, Sir Michael Latham, a senior member of Parliament in the United Kingdom, released an influential report entitled Constructing the Team, which is more commonly known as the Latham Report, and in which he highlighted the importance of partnering.
There was no partnering in Britain in 1993, 1994, and they were adversarial conditions. The more I think about that, the more I'm happy that the new engineering contract has been introduced. That's what I hope to support.
Crossrail, a London railway project, is one of the largest civil engineering projects in Europe, with a total investment of £15 billion. The project is to construct a new railway line through central London and connecting it to the existing East-West railway system. Crossrail is scheduled for commissioning in 2018.
NEC Contracts was chosen by Crossrail, essentially because Crossrail looked at many of the successful programmes that have been run by the UK government over the years. To be successful, NEC got to be used by everybody.
NEC contracts are gradually being more commonly adopted in the industry, including the construction of sports venues for the London Olympic Games.
The construction of the Olympic facilities in many cities over the last 30 years have often finished up over budget and rather late. We were here in the UK determined that that wouldn't happen, and there's no question that the NEC contract have ensured we met those targets that were set by government.
In Hong Kong, the government has always strived to enhance cost effectiveness and to minimize disputes when delivering public works projects. The government has hence decided to use the contract for the improvement of the 180-metre-long Fuk Man Road Nulla in Sai Kung as the first pilot contract for trying out NEC. This pilot contract is implemented by the Drainage Services Department, DSD. The Development Bureau set up a high-level steering committee for this project, while DSD set up a working group to prepare for the first NEC pilot contract. To help the construction industry to gain a better understanding of the implementation of this new NEC contract, DSD had unprecedentedly invited prospective tenderers to attend a briefing and to take part in a mock tendering exercise. The ICAC was also invited to give advice throughout the implementation process, from a probity and anti-corruption viewpoint.
To minimize the corruption risks arising from the use of NEC, in the early implementation stage, the Corruption Prevention Department conducted a detailed study for the Drainage Services Department on the procedures of its NEC pilot project and made a host of practical and effective recommendations to further improve the system.
DSD's Fuk Man Road Nulla project in Sai Kung was eventually awarded to Chun Wo, and Black & Veatch is the project consultant. Construction started in August 2009. This contract adopted the NEC Engineering and Construction Contract, ECC Option C, target contract. Under such contract form, contract payment is based on actual costs. The contractor would hence need to submit those invoices and account relating to this contract to the employer for checking. This is known as open book account. In addition, the terms of contract also stipulate the mechanism for sharing any savings or additional costs, which exceed the target. This is known as the pain-gain share mechanism. If the actual costs of the contract are less than the target, the contracting parties can equally share the savings. On the other hand, if the actual costs go over the target, the contracting parties will also have to jointly bear the part of the actual costs, which is above the target. Under the DSD's first NEC pilot contract, it has been stipulated that the amount of actual costs above the target, which government would share, on a 50-50 basis, is capped at a value equal to 10% of the target. Such mechanism motivates the two contracting parties to cooperate and to jointly manage the construction risks more vigilantly, so as to reduce costs. At the beginning of the contract, the joint DSD Consultant-Contractor Project team set common goals, including to complete the contract 6 months ahead of program and with 5% savings.
We well appreciate that it takes a concerted effort from all concerned parties and support from the construction industry to change from the traditional contract approach to the partnering approach under NEC. To ensure a successful implementation of NEC, we set up a working group with membership from relevant government departments and consultants to deliberate and formulate every detail of NEC. We maintain close communication with every level of the management of the consultant and contractor in order to foster a spirit of mutual trust and collaboration. To further enhance communication among the team,
although there is no such precedence in Hong Kong, it is therefore very important for us as a pioneer to try this new contract model. One of our missions is to reflect the advantages of NEC and find ways to improve the usage of NEC in Hong Kong.
Just seeing everybody sitting together at the construction site office, I know that this will be a special engineering project. Its success depends on whether the landlord and the consulting firm could truly work with us as partners in solving the problems together.
To ensure that the employer, consultants and contractor all have a clear understanding about the special features of NEC, DST commissioned a consultant, JCP, to conduct workshops with the 3 contracting parties with a view to motivating them to accept a mindset change.
Partnering workshop 咧，最主要係想你哋3方面嘅同事咧，就互相認識下大家嘅。因為嚟緊咧，我哋咧就會以一種全新嘅合約模式咧，去開展一項新嘅工程。而家我想大家諗一個方法，用最短嘅時間，每個人都可以掂到個波，而個波唔會跌落地下嘅。
During the different stages of the project, series of partnering workshops were conducted to help the project members from the 3 parties, including client, consultant and contractor, to work out the project common goal and build trust and collaborative culture, which makes a difference from other projects.
Traditionally, the contractor and the consultants each has their own separate site office. But on the Fogman Road Nuller contract, they have changed this tradition and use a joint site office instead. This is a rather new and unusual arrangement for Hong Kong government contracts.
喂，大幫，得唔得㗎？同一個 office 喎，咪睇到晒、聽到晒。
佢哋成腳泥，實踩到 office 污糟邋遢啦。
咩你哋我哋啫？我哋成 team 人嚟㗎嘛，你仲係嫌人成腳泥？你試下30幾度太陽曬足成日嚟做嘢，睇你會牙斬斬。
嗱，各位手足，由今日起咧，大家就用埋同一個 office 啦。咁啊，大家注意一下，喺西日翻嚟嘅時候咧，就有一印腳，唔好話污糟唔污糟啦。如果搞到成地泥跣親邊個咧，都唔好啊。
放心啊，詹士。Frankie， 點啊？慣唔慣啊？你好似未試過除仔地盤嘅喎。
放心喎，未驚過。嗱，有咩即管講。
放心啦，而家大家咁近，有咩我實第一時間講嘅，大家一齊解決問題啊嘛。
After an initial period of adjustment, the staff of Chunhua and Black & Veatch began to appreciate the benefits of working together in the same office. To ensure the project stays on track, senior management representatives from all 3 contracting parties would hold champion meetings once every 2 months to allow frank exchange of views and to address any issues which may affect the progress of works.
In champion meeting, our primary goal in the meeting is to solve problems. Secondly, the focus is on project benefits rather than arguments over liabilities or the terms of the contract.
After adopting NEC, the traditional adversarial relationship between the employer, consultant and contractor has changed into one of partnering and cooperation. They began to resolve problems and make decisions as a team with good team spirit. With the full support of senior management and colleagues, the 3 contracting parties formed a joint team to compete at the Dragon Boat race. During training and competition, the team built a spirit of proactive communication and close cooperation. The biggest difference between NEC and traditional forms of contract is that NEC has built-in clear procedures to ensure good progress of works. This includes requirements such as early warning and clear stipulation of response time.
Thank you. Frankie，
我知道地盤出現咗問題，我哋一齊出去睇下。
好。大幫，喂，阿 Sir 啊，似乎有公司冇 update 啲圖，
嗰度喉管咧會撞親地下啲管線嘅喎。
但係如果照原本嘅設計去做，揾個 utility 公司去改，起碼要幾個星期。一般嘅情況都係咁樣。Anyway， 我照發一個 early warning 俾大家先。
好，大幫啊，你睇下如果我哋嗰條渠嘅設計得唔得？
好啊，等我翻嚟諗諗咩？
阿文啊，咁你等下 Ernest 出咗個新嘅設計圖之後咧，就計一計條數。係。阿輝，咁你打去相關嘅 utility 公司睇下咩料。
係。我會通知上級呢個 early warning 先，順便 update 一下呢個 risk register。你哋一有最新資料就可以決定點做。
好。
In traditional contract, there is not a clear risk management procedure for the parties to jointly mitigate the risk. In contrast, NEC provides an early warning mechanism. Either party can give an early warning to the other when there is a problem likely to cause an impact on the project. As soon as an early warning is notified, the parties will then sit down together and figure out the best solution to mitigate the risk.
Early warning and risk reduction meeting are unique features of NEC and have played an important role for addressing problems encountered in the Fukman Road Nulla project. In 2010, widening works were required to be carried out for the busiest roundabout in Sai Kung. The contractor issued an early warning to the employer because he was concerned that the works might seriously affect traffic in the area. At the follow-up risk reduction meeting, the two contracting parties jointly drew up a series of risks mitigation measures. As a result, the roundabout improvement works were able to be smoothly executed with minimum impact to traffic. Furthermore, NEC also has clear timeframe sets for handling changes and compensation events. Both contracting parties are required under the contract to deal with them as quickly as possible. And in terms of managing progress of works, NEC requires the contractor to reflect the latest progress and risks in their program more clearly and in greater details. Such updated program should be submitted to the employer on a monthly basis to ensure that works could be more effectively executed and progress more closely monitored in accordance with the program.
今次渠務處承建商啦、顧問公司啦，佢哋好努力加強咧同我哋地區人士去溝通，亦都好定時將個工程咧向當區嘅區議員咧係彙報嗰個最新嘅進展。溝通多咗，呢個問題梗係少咗啦，所以我覺得呢個係非常之欣賞嘅新嘅思維。
我住喺西貢好多年㗎啦，咁渠務處呢個工程咧施工期間咧，佢哋嗰個安排咧係好完善嘅，完全都阻礙唔到我哋居民嘅出入㗎。
The use of NEC form of contract has substantially raised the quality and efficiency of work under the Fukman Road Nulla project. Construction is completed 6 months ahead out of an approved contract period of 39 months. And the actual costs of works are expected to be about 5% below the final target. Furthermore, as most of the compensation events have been settled during the construction stage, it is expected that the final account can be finalized within half a year after substantial completion of works.
We embrace a new mindset for this job. In the past, we usually act as a manager to supervise contractors' work. Now, we adopt mutual trust and collaborative way of working with our partners for the benefits of the whole project.
The Fukman Garden was officially opened shortly after the completion of the improvement of Fukman Road Nulla project. Visitors and residents in Sai Kung can now enjoy a further leisure attraction. In fact, more and more NEC projects are now being implemented. We believe the construction industry will know more about NEC and its benefits.
NEC brings about quality project management, resulting in less contractual disputes. We have seen these benefits in our pilot NEC project. We are keen to see the wider development of NEC in Hong Kong and are preparing for more NEC projects in the near future.
After a few months of practice, they took part in the Dragon Boat race again. As long as we venture towards our common goal as a team, success will be within our grasp.